uh, it's actually affected to the people's life in terms of service delivery. So people want to get the services from the government in various ways. Citizens need to interact with the government. So people want the government services to improve their day-to-day life. So without the improvement of the performance, it will be very difficult in terms of time saving, cost saving, convenience. All these things are going down. Government performance is directly connected to the service quality. Service provision can be further improved if it is properly organized within the government, if the resources are properly planned. Uh, so it's a, I think, very, very important subject for today to discuss about the enhancement of the government effectiveness. So this is the widely discussing topics across the world within the Sri Lanka. So in for last 10-15 years, so about the transparency, lack of transparency, inefficiencies, waste of resources, corruption, so many things connected to inefficiencies and low performance. We are now going to discuss how this very powerful tool, results-based management and monitoring and evaluation, can be used to improve the government performance. In together, M&E and RBM, they promote accountability for results-driven governance. So that is actually the foundation for the discussion. Uh, so first, how this discussion goes is that we need to understand initially what are the challenges that the government, within the government, people, citizen, government employees are facing. Then to understand how we can improve the performance, improve the effectiveness, improve the service delivery, we must understand the problem properly. So in terms of the challenges facing, what are the difficulties in the government? So difficulty in achieving meaningful development results that is directly affected to the people. So more focus on activities rather than outcomes. Sustainable improvements will not be achieved if it is not properly planned for results outcomes. And other aspect that it is recognized is that fragmented planning and accountability gaps. Planning is not fully coordinated across the government. There is no big picture connected to the big picture. Holistic planning is not there. Isolation, organization-wise planning without connecting to the entire picture of the government. So many inefficiencies you can see. So we are going to discuss about this. Then the analyzing the problem is very important. Without understanding the problem, we will not be able to formulate solutions. So understand the problem as well as the causes uh, for the problem as well as the effect of the problem is important. The problem analysis. The root cause of the government mainly lack of clarity on outcomes, weak monitoring systems, limited data use. Effects means inefficiencies, repeated mistakes, or minimum impact on the citizens' well-being. So inefficiencies create with so many reasons we are going to discuss in the discussion today, and repeated mistakes is happening because there is no capturing lessons learned. There is no mechanism to capture best practices. Some are very good practices you can find across the government in various organizations. They apply. We should not always tell about the negative areas to be improved, but so many positive interventions, positive projects, success stories are there. So in addition to the understanding the lessons learned, areas to be improved, equally important to understand the lessons learned and best practices so that this can be replicated in other places. So and that will be useful for the motivate of the people also. So always without discussing about the negative areas that need to be improved. Then how can this situation improve? So our proposal is to effectively use results-based planning and monitoring and evaluation. In this case, theory of change and results framework approach will be a very useful, powerful tool. So strengthen M&E for accountability and learning. So the all the main key players within the government, outside, even beneficiaries, Everyone has accountability for certain elements. Learning must be there. So learning and reflection and improvements is essential elements. Shifting routing, what is very important aspect is that shifting routing activity-based management to a results-oriented culture in the government is important. This, this is the main subject that we are going to discuss today. So the problem, in terms of the problem, now the main challenges in the government is fragmented planning and budgeting. What do you mean by fragmented planning? The budget in the budget, national budget, the block amount allocated for the government organizations, these amounts will be allocated for various implementing activities. There will be action plan in the government. So action plan, if you can see the action plans, you can understand that there is no outcomes. Certain times in the past, there were recognition for including outcomes in the action plans, but is a foundation for implementing various activities under different organizations, different department, ministries, statutory bodies, so many government agencies. They must have their own action plan annual basis. They prepare in line with the budget allocation. So what is happening is that in the action plan, it's only actions. There is no results. That is one of the serious drawback challenge the government is facing. So without knowing where we are heading, what is the desired picture, so no one knows where we are going. So that is we must understand where we are now, and where we must reach by end of the year, by end of after 3 years time, because in the government majority of the plans develop for medium term budgetary framework. So 3 years period. In the 3 years period, there must be a big change. So there's no mechanism, no accountability for results, limited accountability for results, because of there's no mechanism to recognize the final end results. Then the milestones, annual, quarterly, once in the biannual, once in 2 years, 3 years, all the milestones must be there in the plan, and the very clear recognize the change, expected change. For example, in the agriculture sector, if I take an example, what is essential is to improve the living standards of the farmers. To do that, so you must focus on improving the production, and improving the market capacity, value chain development for the farmers, to sell their product in a better price. So to do that, farmers should be able to apply modern, effective agriculture techniques, land use methods, soil testing. So many agriculture techniques are there. So for these areas, farmers must be trained, oriented across there must be a strong extension system to advise them to how to use chemical, pesticides, and everything, agriculture inputs. So for example, in education also like that. In the all other areas, these final results need to be identified in the original plans. Lack of performance. The other aspect is that I wanted to indicate very strongly that there is no reward or penalties, whether it is achieved performance or not. There is no difference. So there's no accountability of results. Whether it's the government officers, there's no proper accountabilities. They are busy with so many activities, all the time busy. Actually, they are busy preparation of documents and doing a lot of valuable things they are doing. But when you go to a government organization, no time even to talk. They are fully engaged. It's not their fault, but because of the direction, there's no direction for the overall outcome oriented, results oriented culture. That this is the actually main issue. There are so many implications you can see in this table. Disconnected spending from national priorities, inefficiencies use of public funds, because of now department, there must be department ministry wise plan. This plan must be connected through results, overall results of the government. There must be a strong connection between the organizational plan to the national plans. Then no results oriented culture, no consequences for poor results. results are unclear, performance cannot be measured or improved, because the other thing is that there's no mechanism to measure the no indications, no KPIs, no milestones, no targets. The very limited organizations have targets. Even the government development projects, they have the results framework, they have targets. But in majority of the project, in practical, they are not implementing. There are no collection data, and there is no data-driven culture within the organization. Very effectively, these so many improvements can be done in this area. Uh, no pride for data collection. No. Even in I have been in government actually long years of experience I have, but my experience is that it's very difficult for convincing the management that we must have a data collection mechanism, collect data. Even we manage to collect data, we write in the report, we submit to the board. So acceptance of this report is another problem. So the culture is in it's not in the developed countries like Canada. You can see in the website of the Canadian government, they have departmental resource framework available. You can easily go through that. So every quarter they have targets given. Target versus actual results they present quarterly basis, monthly basis. All the officials who are engaging in implementing the projects, they are accountable to produce results timely basis. It's a time bound results actually. Now in the problem, we must understand what are the causes of the problem as well as the effect of the problem. Otherwise, you will not be able to formulate solutions for the uh, problem. Unclear, misaligned goals, weak accountability mechanism. I already told these things. Lack of reliable data, institutional capacity gaps. It's one of the serious things that the monitoring and evaluation capacity is required in each and every organization. Then it will lead for ineffective service delivery, which is directly affected to the people's life, and immediate effect will be decline in public trust on the government, inefficiency use of public funds, inability to demonstrate impacts. Demonstration of results is very important to get the public, even to justify the success of this government. It is essential that to demonstrate what they are doing, the results, outcome, not the activities. It's essential. In the long term, so many consequences are there if there is no proper monitoring system. So I will rush actually to manage the time also. I think I can talk about the subject about half day without any problem. So many information available. So what do you mean by public sector? I already told improved service delivery is a public sector performance, contribution to the economic growth. So if the performance of the public sector is going down, it will directly affect to the low growth of the and as a result, social well-being going down. Then institutional efficiency and accountability mechanism is not there. So this is the consequences of how effectively government institutions fulfill their mandate to improve their lives of the citizens. So every government organization has a mandate. So mandate is not just doing things, busy of doing things, to serve for citizens, serve for farmers. I remember recently, Honorable Agriculture Minister made a very valuable statement saying that now in the ministry last 10 years implement so many projects and so many interventions across the country developing the agriculture sector. What will happen is that now the all these interventions were able to increase the living condition of the people, living conditions of the farmers. It is obvious not. What happened actually is that these are there, interventions are there, very valuable, important things are happening, changes are there, but it is not powerful enough to go to the end results, end beneficiary level. So that is the issue. Our focus must be to improve the living condition of the people, farmers, provide health effectiveness of the health services to citizens. Likewise, so every sector must be developed. End results, we must understand in the result stand who will be the end beneficiary, who will be the what will be the end final outcomes. The in terms of the responsibilities, as far as the government responsibilities are concerned, so those are the policy formulation, public service delivery, economic management, environmental protection, security and law enforcement, and government accountability. Entire For all the aspects, government is accountable. So public service delivery is the more major thing that immediately affect to the people. So several people visit into government organization to obtain services. Sometimes you have to submit same document for various. If you are going for obtaining a passport, you have to go to the registrar general, collect the birth certificate, ID card, and so many things. Several times you need to produce, but it is not that actually. In the other developed countries, a single window available. Government is interoperable. Everything is stored in the cloud. So government organization can quickly search across the government, search the document. That must be there. The digital transformation is essential to streamline the service. By adopting digital transformation, transaction costs are significantly going down, and it will actually enhance people's life living standards. They can save a lot of money. There's a huge opportunity cost of traveling to obtain services, register a business. So many business citizen services can be delivered within very short period in a citizen-centric, business-friendly manner by adapting digital technologies. The government performance can be significantly improved adapting technologies. So these things I already told. Performance challenges in the public sector, inefficiency uses, and poor value for money in the public investments. Output focus rather than outcome focus. Schools built, but people are not talking about education, learning outcomes, learning gains. Hospitals are there, but poor patient care. In the government organization, in progressive meetings, these things are not discussed. What is essential is to measure the end results. Poor patients care need to be highlighted and improved. It should be the not just providing the output. Output is essential, but not sufficient. Final end result will be the outcome and the impact. So the low citizens trust, because of all these things, citizens trust and satisfaction has gone down the last 10-15 years about the government. Citizens were not happy about the government in the past. I think things are moving positive side now. No clear performance standards. There's no indicators, no KPIs. The fragmented planning service delivery. Multiple agencies developing services, but there is no integrated connected services. So government service should be connected each other and provide services. So many duplications everywhere. So you can see examples of public services, health, hospital, clinics, and all that. Education, schools, teacher training, curriculum development. These all outputs need to be focused on expected changes. I think time is going very fast. Improving public sector performance with M&E and RBM. So I will quickly jump into the how we can use the RBM for improving the performance. In the traditional planning, no focus on results. In the RBM, clarity on goals and results. Initially, start from the outcomes and impacts. Impact is long term. We can only contribute, but for the time being, we forget the impact. So major change is outcome. For anything, you have objectives. The achievement of objective means achievement of outcomes. Or if the outcomes is not achieved, you were not able to achieve the objectives. Then enhance service delivery. Identify performance gap. Use feedback for improvements. Based on the feedback through a many mechanism, service delivery can be improved. Then improve efficiency across the government. So many duplications. For example, in the cloud, in technology, I'm taking example from the technology. The cloud is essential for the government to store all the data across all the government. Now is everything based on the data. So to store data, centralized cloud is required. At the same time, government has centralized cloud. Government organization procured for I'm talking about for last 5-10 years, uh, that for individual servers. That means it's a duplication of resources, spending money for procuring servers at the same time having the server. Cloud across the government managing. So these things, so many integrated duplications across the government you can see. In the planning process, organizations planning separately, individual basis, but similar agencies doing the same thing over and over again. So it's actually inefficiencies. Support decision making, provide timely data, facilitate evidence-based decision making, and allow adaptive management. In the uh, traditional planning is repeated mistakes. There's no learning mechanism. No one is taking accountability in the RBM techniques, because everywhere all the results are visible. Time frames is there. Theory of change is there. So it's easily accountable things. Whoever the implementing programs or the responsible officials are accountable for delivering the results to citizens. This is further elaborating traditional planning and results-based planning. Start with outcomes. The traditional planning only activities, busy with activities and inputs, measuring inputs. The disbursement in the government still uh, discussing about the disbursement, not the outcomes. Very rarely discuss about the outcomes. Focus on doing things, conduct training, always discussing about things that they are doing, not the response, the results that they are accountable. Output and outcomes are often unclear in the previous plan, not in even action plan, as I mentioned. Then in the resource-based planning, activities, outputs, outcomes, impacts, everything very clear. Resource allocation, uh, it's for inputs, budget allocation for inputs and activities, but here for account, outputs and outcomes. Uh, in the previous traditional planning, difficult to track the progress, track the outcomes, track the achievements. But in the uh, results-based planning, it's very easily progressive achieving outputs, progressive achieving outcomes based on the indicators developed. It's very easily tracked. It's adaptive change in management, can be changed. Lessons learned can be further improved by based on the lessons learned. Things can be further improved. Best practice can be replicated. So everything will be there. Then this is the theory of change. Foundation for the result-based management is theory of change. Actually, you can see in the lower part of the slide here, input, activities, outputs, outcomes, and impacts. So outcomes are the key elements of the results-based planning. So we can have outcome indicators, output indicators, activities. So within 2-3 pages, we can develop a document, logical framework for any department. So anyone, it can be faced in front of the department and see. Anyone can see that what are the results they are accountable. I went through several websites actually as part of the preparation of this assignment. I think in the website you can see that there's no results indicated at all. So all the activities mainly mentioned, vision and missions are there. There's no mechanism to monitor, evaluate the missions and vision. There's no mechanism to collect data. Nothing was mentioned in the websites. So this is the situation. So these things must be very fast. Government need to take action about to improve the results-based planning and management, and adapt monitoring and evaluation across the government. SLEvA has done a great job for last couple of years, but still not sufficient. Further, a lot of room for further improvements. SLEvA developed the evaluation policy, and National Evaluation Act was it's in the Parliament. These things I think need to be mandate of the government organization through an act. In the future, I think it's a part of the SLEvA job also to taking care of the enacting the Evaluation Act, including the evaluation policy. So why theory of change is important to enhance government performance? It's outcome driven planning, not the activity driven planning. Focus on the results that matter most to citizens. Then strategic resource use. It's reduce duplication of resources, waste of resources. Uh, Efficiently use of resources can be ensured by adopting results based planning. Uh, then strong monitoring and evaluation is essential to measure the outcomes. There must be a set of indicators. To measure the outputs, there must be indicators and data collection techniques, data analysis mechanism, and reporting. There's no point of submitting huge 1,100-page reports, but reports must be very effective, quick, actionable, reports must be submitted, and the evaluation culture is need to be established within the government organization. It should be started. We must work together with secretaries of the ministries and convince the importance of M&E and institutionalize M&E in every ministry, every organization, and it's recognized by the government, and then overall government-wide results-based plan must be there in collaboration with the Treasury, Presidential Secretariat, and other Prime Minister Secretariat. I think it's important now it's fortunately that the Secretary of Finance also in the council. This council is there in the evaluation council, Secretary to the Prime Minister. So these kind of contacts are very useful for institutionalizing evaluation in the government. Then great accountability must be there for failures. We are not saying failures, but so many things need to be further improved. So for that, what happened in the government? This accountability framework is not there. So whatever happened, whoever engage in implementation must be responsible and accountable. So then they have the responsibility of adapting, changing, improving, and mistakes can be happen, but if it is improved in the next time after having the understanding the requirement, it will be okay. So then the better policy coherence must be there. Align ministries and agencies towards shared goals. The department and ministries have their individual goals as well as shared goals, connected goals for the government. Then it will be reducing the duplication of resources. Theory of change help government institutions to shift, doing more. People are doing more busy, and but what is essential is doing smart. So when you have a smart plan, people will be smart, so they can save a lot of time. Actually, when they have resource framework, they can only concentrate essential things. So for that, I think what is essential is to change attitudes. Mindset change is essential. Improve the capacity across the government on M&E is essential. Then institutional reforms is essential. This currently planning division can be further enhanced to monitoring, evaluation, and planning divisions. Then political commitment must be there. At the parliament level, it must be engaged, and parliament act must be immediately, as soon as possible, to enact to recognize M&E across the government. Policy-wise, recognized. I think fortunate. What is good is that Treasury, National Planning Department, Department of Project Management and Monitoring, they are doing very very hard to institutionalize M&E across the government. That is a very good thing, actually. So we need to support this organization to further institutionalize and adapting M&E techniques and effectively applying for planning and evaluation, ensuring achievement of results directly affected to the citizens' life. Resource-based management in the public sector, I said my mindset change is very important. Capacity development, institutional framework must be there. Overall M&E framework and leadership commitment and data and digital systems. It must be data-driven, not the opinion-based decisions. Data-driven culture must be there. Decision making through evidence-based findings. So this is the evaluation policy. These are all the areas covered in the national evaluation policy developed by the Sri Lankan Evaluation Association. And so that's all from my side. It's actually very fast. Not sure whether you were able to. I'm only my aim is to opening up, open your mindset to understand these things, and just for giving some sensitization about the requirement of result-based management. So it is now time for question and answers.
Thank you so
Rajeev?
much, Mr. Seneviratna. It was very eye-opening, very useful, and one can wonder the future. I would like to open the floor now to the participants to see whether we have any questions to Mr. Jagath Seneviratna. who has a lot of experience in the public sector, implementing monitoring and evaluation. Until we come up with some questions, I would like to ask Mr. Seneviratna, could you tell us some challenges that you have seen public sector institutions having when they're trying to implement results-based management systems from the traditional non-result-based systems that we have
Thank you,
had in
Rajiv.
the past?
Rajiv, thing is now as I mentioned, in the National Planning Department, they have the project submission format. It is recognized the results-based management. Theoretically, it is recognized. In the implementation, now somehow the government organization managed to write the proposal and get the approval. So they will get, it's very comprehensive document. Outcomes are there, outputs, indicators, everything need to be submitted in the project annual basis. And Treasury asking in line with the national budget, submitting proposals. In the proposal development format, this mechanism is there. The challenge, as you said, is that implementation of the once they get the approval. So in the organization, there's no capable people to monitor and evaluate and support the implementation team to adopt the M&E techniques. Without knowing the M&E, they will not be able to. Again, it's shifting from outcome to our activity-based culture. So then they will develop an action plan based on the proposal. In the action plan, in some period, it was recognized the outcome must be there. But I remember, if I'm correctly remember, in the action plan, there is no column to recognize outcomes and the indicators. Even though it's recognized, but there is no mechanism to collect data. So the capacity is the major challenge in the government. It's actually a knowledge subject. So monitoring and evaluation, I think SLEvA is doing a significant attempt to improve the capacity. Even Department of Project Management, Monitoring and Management, and then National Planning Department, they are also focusing on enhancing the capacity of M&E. But this is not sufficient, I think. So I think we must have practitioners, many practitioners within the government organization. There must be a very strong capacity. One person appointing is not sufficient, but there must be a culture. There must be many teams, extended many teams must be there. Otherwise, one person they will not be able to achieve the objectives because activity oriented people, supporting number of people supporting to activity oriented approaches is higher than the resource oriented culture in the government. That is my experience. It is a challenge. I think the most important thing is that changing the mindset, shifting the culture from activity-oriented, disbursement-oriented measurement culture to resource-oriented culture, and as well as how to measure, what are the data collection techniques, and all the so many knowledge they need. So
Thank
these
you.
things are essential.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Seneviratna. I think that was a very comprehensive answer that we received from you. We have a few questions, and a few of us have raised our hands. And let's take a question from Manisha Rajapaksa. Can the government give KPIs, key performance indicators, to heads of institution to achieve them in a certain period, managing the resources and finance in the heads of finance for the heads of responsibilities? Okay. Let me try to rephrase that. Can the government give key performance indicators to heads of institutions? Basically, it's been. What is your answer, Mr. Seneviratna?
Yeah, of course, there must be KPIs given to each and every government in India, Indian government, India. So every government, I think, as I know, that they have agreed KPIs. They have a competition mechanism between states also. So one of my colleagues went to the training for India about uh, auditing government public sector auditing purposes. They said that very clearly that every government organization has the KPIs. Even in when you see the website, all the across the government or in developed countries, Canada and UK, they have their own government results based framework. KPIs given, targets are given, milestones are identified. So data collection techniques have also been agreed and identified. So this role is actually Department of Project Management and Monitoring, DG, DPMM. They are trying their best to prepare results, agency results frameworks for government. But practically, I think it is 100% not successful. So I was also part of the system. I have experience. Actually, they tried their best, but they also there's no enough many capacity within the organization, and there must be hand holding support need to be given to the individual government organizations to adopt these techniques. Just saying is not enough, but practically working together it's essential. Otherwise, providing them only a KPI will not be work. It wouldn't work. Only thing is training, capacity building, adapting the results framework. Not only KPI, but it's part of the results framework. Agency or departmental results framework must be adapted, and it must be connected to the entire government results framework. Is it okay, Rajiv?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, Mr. Seneviratna. Now, along the same lines of the question that our participant asked, we see a lot of resistance from the public sector decision makers for resource-based management systems to be implemented in the institutions. How positive are you for our country, Sri Lankan context, to implement RBM systems in the future?
Rajiv, I think
Do you see a
I'm
mindset shift, like an attitude change kind of thing?
yeah, I actually
In
am
our,
I'm optimistic about this.
sure.
In the past, they were when they properly know about the benefit of results-based management, they will adapt. So, so in some organizations, it was adopted actually. So in the, for example, recently DG Agriculture recently appointed, invited me to come and help them to develop a departmental results framework. So likewise, so many personally known people, head of organizations, they like very much to adopt the results-based management. They would like to see the results. They would like to see the results of their mandate. So the problem that they are facing is that for even for paying for consultants to hire, so there is no mechanism to that many people are very expensive actually. No, it should be through individual consultants they are hiring, but very limited capable people available, as you also know, Rajiv. It should be through the SLEvA, maybe through the department, through maybe through
Sure.
development agencies. We need to help government organization for the initially. So it has actually successful somewhere in 2007-8 period in the national planning they were able to, but again people going back and they just forget it. But continuous
Okay.
basis we need to undertake providing support for the organization. Somebody should take the
Sure.
responsibility, and we need to empower the DPMM actually, the responsible mandated organization in the government also.
DPMM.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for that comprehensive answer as well. We have two more questions from Mr. Ranjit Tabru and Mr. Tilakaraja, Honorable Tilakaraja, still perhaps. I would pose the question to, I would ask Mr. Ranjit Tabru to pose your question. If you can unmute yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Rajiv. An excellent presentation, Mr. Karunaratne. But I have three short questions. How does the government decide to choose projects for RMB and M&E? Now, are we going to do this across all activities of the government? Because now, right now, systems have been established, like in the issue of ID cards. registration of motor vehicles, which are running very efficiently. I must say, those are excellent, actually. Then the second question is RMB-ME best done using in-house resources or outside consultants? And the last question is views on midterm and end of the project, is that adequate? Normally, all these reviews are done at the midterm of appointment, actually, and at the end of the tour. Is that sufficient to ensure that the services are done in a regular manner? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Abu. Thank you very much for your question. Very valid question, actually. Agency like RMB and ID card, they have their own they have their own income also. I think they have their strong IT systems they successfully operate, and through the systems the online they can collect lot of data. So about the performance of the issuing time and all that. But in addition to that, they can further improve. They can collect the feedback from the customers also. These things can be further improved. But basic data available about the service delivery, it's transparent because of their IT systems available. And not only that, actually several divisional secretary agencies, organizations also apply to certain level the monitoring and evaluation technique. They have developed their charter. They have identified the time that they spend for delivering various services. For example, birth certificate they will issue within very short period, 3-4 minutes. They have written in display in the organization how much time they require to process the service. But these things actually by applying without even applying RBM officially, theoretical RBM, but they are using their own efficient approaches to deliver the services because they are accountable. So a lot of public pressure is coming to these organizations. But still, if these organizations have the connected systems, interoperability between the organization, sometimes, when you go to take a license, you need to go to the ID card or other document, the birth certificates, you have to go to some other departments. So these systems are not interconnected. They can further improve, so that they are all 100% fully successful. But a lot of things they can further improve, and I think comparing with several other public organizations, they are to certain level they are successful, because I know these organizations. When I was working for ICT, I was able to go visit organizations, collect data, and so many projects. We also part of that, Mr. Dabru. The other thing is you said about the periodical evaluations. You asking whether it is sufficient midterm or final. Actually, there's no hard and fast rule about the whether it is. But this is a basic requirement. Baseline must be there, and any interval you can do another because of the depend on the funding availability, depend on the organizational requirement. You can do any evaluations in projects. Normally, it's accepted that midterm and final evaluations. In between, you can do another rapid appraisal techniques if you want to further understand what is where we are heading and all that. There is no whenever possible doing small evaluations by using rapid appraisal, reducing by using very economical approaches will be useful. A lot of projects are using this focus group discussions and so many other approaches combined, and they can save a lot of money. And no need to go all the time for expensive systematic control trial like sophisticated evaluation techniques. So that is up to the organization or the project to decide whether it is a. But having midterm is, I think, very useful. Otherwise, we don't know where we are heading. Midterm, annual basis, at least to have some kind of evaluation will be useful. Otherwise, we don't know until end of the project that whether we are not in a position to achieve the end results. The routing M&E data must be there periodically, convenient intervals. You can apply any evaluation techniques actually. Thank you, Mr. Sabri. Anything else? Anything I missed out in addressing?
No, thank you very much, Mr. Seneviratna. I think we only have
very
5 minutes, so I would like to give the floor to Honorable Tilakaraja to ask his questions, because you managed
Thank you.
to give a very comprehensive answer to Mr. Tabru's question. Thank you so much. Mr.
Thank you, Rajiva, and thank you very much, Seneviratna, for wonderful presentation. I have a quick question on that. Actually, this is a political commitment what we are having in the current government. Recently, you may aware of that there are two cabinet decisions regarding this. The one is that NPP manifesto has been approved by the Cabinet of Ministers as the national development planning for next 5 years. One thing. The second one is that monitoring process also are taken into the concern of the Cabinet of Ministers, and that's going to be implementation as that they are going, whether they are monitoring that NPP manifesto is implemented in the development activities. My question is, how do you see those two attempts by the present government, and whether it is possible within the structural arrangements or institutional arrangements we have at the moment with the DPMM and all, to implement, to monitor those cabinet decisions in practice?
Thank you, Honorable Tilakaraja, my friend. Actually, I'm happy to see you, hear you also. I thank you for the good question. I'm very happy to hear about the government cabinet decision about giving priority for monitoring and evaluation. I think this the manifesto is the national, considered as a national plan, and essential that to carry out monitoring and evaluation activities by using results-based management techniques. In my understanding, current organization structure is not sufficient. I think the capacity, as I said earlier, to DPMA must be further improved, knowledge-wise, as well as their capacity, staff. They must be further empowered, actually, with right knowledge, right approaches, and all that. And collaboration with the various organizations. Collaboration must be increased with the development agencies like UN, FAO, and World Bank. They are also willing to support for monitoring and evaluation and ensure the transparency and effectiveness of the development results. And also and the organization level, based on in line with the national plan, organization level must be, there must be a departmental resource framework, institutionalized. I think there must be very strong, close working sessions with the secretaries of the government, and improve their engagement. And with their, we need to get their blessing also. Engagement is essential, and the convince mindset change within the organization is essential. Also, this planning unit must be converted, as you very correctly know that it was planned earlier in the national evaluation policy, and in preparation of the evaluation bill, that all the national government planning unit can be further empowered to convert it as a monitoring and evaluation units. So that is my actually understanding, and then my opinion about this, Honorable Tilak Raja. Thank you very much. Anything else?
Thank you, Mr.
Seems like we don't have any more questions, and time's up for us to wind down from our presentation. Mr. Seneviratna, may I request you to advance your PowerPoint presentation to the next slide?
Okay.
And the next.
Let me.
Okay. No, the one before.
Which one?
Yeah. Do we have Mr. Visva Sokkanathan
Yes.
for our thanking remarks?
Yes, sir.
Oh, please, the floor is yours, Mr.
Yeah.
Sokkanathan.
Good evening to all, sir. Actually, we have SLEvA obligation to thank for all participants, and firstly, our today's guest speaker, Mr. Jagath Seneviratna, to deliver a very comprehensive and very useful subject to the public sector evaluation, monitoring and evaluation. And second, would like to thank our Honorable President, Jinendra Kothalawala sir, to put the keynote and remarks, and Mr. Rajeeva Gunasekera sir as moderator do the good job. Thank him for sir. And participants, they spend valuable time to receive this knowledge. We have thank for all participants. Finally, thank you very much for all. It's a good day and a very useful session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sokkanathan, for that vote of thanks for all the organizers and the presenter. And on behalf of Sri Lanka Evaluation Association, I would like to wish you all a good night. And if Mr. Jinendra Kothalawala, our president of SLEvA, if he's still around, yes, would you like to give a final word for us before we depart from each other?
Thanks again, everyone, the speaker, moderator. Thanks given by Mr. Sokkanathan and the participants for joining this, including Mr. Pasidu for organizing this. We will meet soon for another webinar that we will be circulating, and we will circulate the audio and video in YouTube, and we will update you through emails. Thanks again, and have a good weekend and a good day for you.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. President. Have a good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Bye.